we have seen that in the process of transcription, in prokaryotic, mRNA is formed, but in case of eukaryotic, hnRNA is formed. That is, heterogeneous nuclear RNA is formed. In prokaryotic, it is mRNA, but in eukaryotic, it is hnRNA. Why it is so? Beside this difference, there are other differences also in the process of transcription in prokaryotic and in eukaryotic. We have seen that in prokaryotic, only one RNA polymerase is involved. So there is only one enzyme, one RNA polymerase that is responsible for the formation of all different type of RNA, whether it is rRNA, tRNA or mRNA. But in case of eukaryotic, there are three types of RNA polymerases. RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2 and RNA polymerase 3. So there are three types of RNA polymerase. Second difference. In prokaryote, there is polycystron. But in eukaryote, there is monocystron. What is this monocystron and polycystron? We have done that in case of prokaryotic, a continuous stretch of mRNA is formed. One after the other, there may be structural genes. But in monocystron, at a time, there is only one cystron, and in between that, there are certain non-coding sequences. This is called exon, and this is called introns. So before the final processing, these introns, they have to be removed. Another difference between this, we know that in prokaryote, there is no differentiation between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. A demarcated nucleus is not present here. So what happened? That transcription and translation process can be coupled. Means as soon as transcription is happening, from the other end, translation can start simultaneously. So we say that coupled transcription and translation process is there in case of prokaryote. But this is not possible in case of eukaryote. Why this is not possible in eukaryote? There are two reasons for that. First thing, transcription is occurring in nucleus and the translation process will occur in the cytoplasm, and eukaryote there is clear-cut demarcation in the nuclear region and in the cytoplasmic region. So after the transcription process, RNA, it has to be transported to the cytoplasm. Second reason, we have just done that there are introns, and these introns, they are not having any meaningful information, so these have to be cut off. That we say that post-transcriptional processes, they have to occur in this hnRNA. So now let us see what are these post-transcriptional processes. See, this is our mRNA. or to be very specific, this is our hnRNA. This hnRNA, this is having certain sequences which are called introns, right? Or I can show it like this. In between, there are introns. These are introns and these are exon. Say this is 5', this is 3'. For the processing of hnRNA, the first step that occurred is capping. Capping takes place soon after the transcription process starts, and this is at the 5' end. What is done in capping? A special type of the guanine base, that is methylated. This is written as methylated guanosine triple phosphate. This is added at the 5' end, and that is called capping. So at this end, this methionine guanosine phosphate is added. Now, what is the purpose of capping? There are two purposes of capping. One, to protect it from the action of nucleases enzyme. And second is, it helps in binding with ribosome. So it also helps in identification and binding with the ribosome. The second is tailing. This tailing is at the 3' end. In this process, a poly A tail is added. Again, the purpose of tailing is to protect it from the action of exonucleases, because these are the enzymes that can break down this hnRNA into pieces. And if it is so, then translation process cannot occur, and the whole purpose of this gene expression is defeated. So capping and tailing, these are very important. Third step is splicing. What is splicing? It is nothing but removal of introns. So what happened in this process? In this process, these introns, they form loop like this. So the loop of introns are formed. These are the loops of introns. In the next step, and already, mind you, here capping has occurred. That capping is methylated guanosine triphosphate, and at this end, polyadenine chain. This will be after transcription is over. But this, as soon as the transcription starts, then capping will occur. Tailing after the transcription is over. Right? Now what would happen? A continuous stretch of mRNA is formed, and now all these are removed. These loops are removed. And now there is capping, there is tailing in the form of adenine, 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 and this is capping. Now this is called mRNA. So from the journey of hnRNA to mRNA, there are 3 stops: capping, tailing, and splicing. In splicing, intron then stretch off this strand which are not having any meaningful information are removed. Capping and tailing to protect this mRNA from the action of exonucleases.